Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. My name's David and this is my channel. Today's video, there is a giving and receiving energy in everything. This is the law. When Jesus came, he said, I came here to fulfill the law. What was he talking about? He was saying that at that time, there was the law of the land, and that law was guilt, and that law was punishment. And he said, we need a law of grace, because to have guilt and punishment is not to receive. It's like, you're wrong, I will not receive you. So we cut off our receiving element, but what you cut off in one, you cut off in the all. So if I say you're guilty, I'm saying I'm guilty. If I punish you, I punish me. Do you see? Because I'm not receiving something in my life. So he says, I came here to fulfill the law. You must learn to receive the world in front of you so that way it can flow again. That's what energy is. So if I take this, I use this as a circle. The idea of the giving energy and the receiving energy here, we see it in our tires, right? It's giving and receiving. And this is how energy works in everything. And the more we understand that the giving controls the receiving, and the receiving will control the giving. So if we're not receiving our life, which is where we have the biggest issue, receiving what's coming in, then it's going to control what we give. You see? Now, I've learned this is what we need to put our study. In martial arts and Tai Chi, when you first come in, especially into Kung Fu, which is what I teach, there's a feeling of giving or punching or kicking or defending. But can you see it's all going out? It's all coming out to this outside and defending ourselves from this outside world. Now, that could be construed same thing in your life. Our mind is giving, it's attacking, it's defending itself. Can't you feel it? I'm defending myself in my mind by worrying and having fear and getting upset or getting frustrated or judging. There's this defense mechanism that's going on in our mind on a regular basis through the mind activity, because that's what mind activity is. It's a defense. Can you feel that? I'm defending, I'm attacking. Yeshua would say in the Course in Miracles, you have attack thoughts. And as you attack your life, just like in Kung Fu, not one person doesn't come in there with more energy going out. And then my goal as a teacher, just as a teacher in the idea of spirituality or understanding who we are, it's not about what's going out, it's about what's coming back. So it takes a little bit of time for them to understand that whatever's going out has to be coming back, and that's why they're knocking themselves off balance. And it's the same thing in life. If we're attacking people, then we're attacking ourselves. If we're getting upset with them, we're getting upset with ourselves. If we see unfinished in them, we see unfinished in ourselves. Do you see that receiving aspect is there? It cannot be otherwise. And the more we understand that, that is law. And that's the beauty of law, because that's how we extend. Just like it's how we drive down the road. To extend ourselves. We extend that. We share the sonship, like we talked about, the oneness of all that we are. We came here to extend it out and to share it with everybody, with everything. And as you share it, it comes back. It's like these videos. I share my clarity in order to receive it back. Do you see? And then others have the opportunity to take what they can, or what speaks to them, or what they enjoy. And they also have the opportunity to not take what they don't want. Do you see? And that's kind of how life works. We have a giving and we have a receiving. But the one we want to focus on more than anything is the receiving. The giving, as Abraham Hicks would say, is usually vibrational. It just is. You cannot stop giving. But the price of giving is receiving, and this is where we have our issue. The price of giving is receiving. So we're always giving vibrationally. Everybody says, I would never attract that, Dave. I would never ask for that experience, and that person is guilty. And I went through that whole period where I blamed the pieces and all the people and all the circumstances, situations, and I had to trade them all in for one place, which is Source. That way, eventually I said, everything is perfect. Everything is coming in. I'm going to find the benefit. I'm going to find something positive no matter how it comes in. I traded it all for one. Does that make sense? So we all have to kind of have that switch, that shift in our consciousness from blaming the pieces to recognizing the whole, to recognizing that what's coming in, regardless of the form that it's coming in, it is coming from your vibration. It must be. So the goal is not to change the world, it's to master your vibration, because that's the giving. But the paradox or the irony or is that we have to do it by controlling the receiving. Because we didn't come here just to give, we came here to receive. It's a double duty. How cool is it? I get to give to you guys. I love knowing that I can give this clarity to my brothers and sisters. And it brings me so much joy to hear your comments and to believe that, that this is reaching somebody in such a wonderful level. But at the same time, I get to receive it too. And if I put all my thought on what you get, I'm going to be miserable, worried, fearful, afraid of you, controlled. Do you see what I'm saying? By what I give. And we do that all the time. We pay way more attention to what people get from us than what we receive back. A rocket can't go anywhere without it going down. And I assure you, if you can feel it, it would go whoosh like this. It would go down first, just like my arm. If someone says, Dave, I have shoulder issues, I say, drop it down as you come up. Make sure you have a receiving element to your arm. Work on the receiving, I guarantee you'll feel better. You see, because the receiving is the part that is holding it together. It is our foundation. Do you see? We receive first. In Tai Chi, I need to give a place to go before then I can move, you see. Otherwise, I move and I pull myself off balance. So there's a structure to this universe. It receives itself. And then eventually that giving and receiving is in the same place, just like that tire. As it goes out, it receives it the other side, so that way it has stability. We stabilize our own self. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. And it's amazing to think that we came here to give. And what could we give? I mean, besides love or appreciation. And as we give and extend it out, then we get to receive that love and appreciation back. But we cannot control what others receive from it. That's why their receiving is nothing to do with my receiving. And this is where I think we got kind of twisted up. We give, but we pay attention to what others receive to determine what we receive. Does that make sense? And we got a little tangled up in other people's receiving energy or giving energy to the point we don't know the difference between ours and theirs. We each have our own giving and receiving energy because we each are a ray to that sun, that sonship, the wholeness of who we are. Each one of us have that extension or an extension of that sun. So we are each responsible for what we give and what we receive. If we pay attention to what comes in and find something positive in it, find something that benefits us, find something joyful, find something that will give us clarity, then we can get in control of our receiving side. But we cannot determine what other people receive. Does that make sense? I know that's tricky, isn't it? See, when I was able to trade everybody in for the one source, then now everybody became that one source. Does that make sense? Everything became that one source. And I just received from it no matter what, no matter how it felt. Because I knew that as it came in, I can change it. I can shift it. How? By finding something positive in it. This is our superpower, and I recommend really getting this because it doesn't matter what comes in, you can find something positive, I assure you. And as you turn and shift into something positive in what's coming in, and you see it as one source instead of one person or one thing or circumstance, and you trade them all in for one, just your receiving side. How much are you receiving? Because how much you receive of what comes in is also how much you receive of the sonship that's coming through. Woo! Isn't that interesting? It's like we're that ray of light receiving from the sun. Remember we talked about this before. How much are we allowing of the sonship? Then it goes out. Then it comes back Do you know all of these are on the same path? So if I don't like you, I just stopped my sonship from flowing through me. And that's what we have to see. Do you see? That's how we're built. That's the law. I came here to fulfill the law, he says, meaning allow it to flow. You're not allowing the truth to come in. You're trying to stop it. You're trying to say, nope, I don't like that. Nope, 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 nope. And then you bind your own energy up. We have to allow it to flow. And the only way to do that is to not point those fingers. And remember that next time. Oh, I don't like you. You just stopped the whole flow of your life from flowing through. You pinched it off. Is it worth it? Let them be. They're allowed to find their giving and receiving element in their life. Aren't they? That's their birthright. That's their inheritance. And as one day when you felt like you couldn't, many, many years ago before you started this journey, and you were lost and you were tangled up, and perhaps now they are, can you give them some compassion? Compassion means I know where you're at. I don't have to join you because that's not my journey anymore. But clearly it's yours and you're allowed to be on it. And if you can hold that light to them without changing and shifting, by recognizing you are in control of your own receiving of the sonship and receiving of your life, then you will give them an opportunity. You'll give them an ability to see there might be another way. And that might be enough. They might walk away disgruntled, angry at you, but you gave them a choice. And at some point they're going to say, wow, how did he or she, how did they stay so calm? Even though I was yelling, even though I was coming back in such a way, and they stayed calm. They stayed loving and receiving. Is it possible that I can do the same? You see, and that's all we can do is reflect back our own clarity, reflect back how much we receive of our own life to our brothers and sisters so they can have the opportunity to do it if they wish. And I've learned that sometimes it only takes that one time. You know, I've been in my school where I've only had one student and you're like, oh man, why am I not getting any other students? And I've learned, but who knows what we're going to do together today? Who knows how it's going to move out into the sonship? It's all one. How that wave is going to ripple out and affect everybody. There's so much more going on than just the two of us in that building. So to be grateful, to be appreciative, to be receiving, to be in a place of allowing this moment to be and to find something positive in it. Don't allow that mind to shift me to cut off my own receiving aspect of my life. You see, these two energies are all there is, and they are the most important study you can possibly do. You're giving vibrationally and you're receiving physically. For the most part, we're still receiving vibrationally. But I can assure you, it'll get to the point where you give emotion and it comes back instantaneous. Emotion is instantaneous. The manifestation part of it takes some time. That's why everybody's like, law of attraction doesn't work. It's not that it doesn't work, but you have to keep the vibration going first. If you could just give and receive your own vibration. And I can assure you that's what's happening. You're not receiving anyone else's vibration. You're receiving your own. And the more you recognize that, the more power you have. The more power and choice, deliberacy. Be deliberate to be able to say, I can love you regardless if you love me. I can see the beauty in you even if you don't see it in yourself. You see, that's power. That's power. Anyone can go down because someone else is. But to hold that light, to be that lighthouse and allow that ship to come in. Lighthouse never moves. It's up to the ship to do everything. And it's the same thing for non-physical. They just hold the light. It's up to us to move back to them. You see, and it's the same thing as a teacher. You hold the light. It's up to the student to do what they do. And it's up to you to recognize that you're a student too. That's the beauty of this receiving, is you cannot teach without being a student. And you can't be a student without being a teacher. Can you see how all of this just moves perfectly together? It's such a wonderful way how it's all created. All we have to do is just recognize You came here to receive. You came here to feel, to experience. Right now. How many things can you receive right now in this moment? Can you just receive your breath? Can you just receive peace or quietness? Or like my wife, dance in the kitchen? Can you just find a reason to dance or just to smile? That's a receiving. There's a receiving in everything. And then you'll recognize everything receives first. It receives to go out. It receives to go out. And now you'll switch. Just like my students, eventually they won't go out first. They'll receive to go out. Receive to go out. Does that make sense? We got to switch the order. Receive your life. I assure you what's coming in is only good, holy, and beautiful. Why not receive it? Thank you guys. As always, it is my passion, my excitement, and my pleasure to share this clarity with all of you. Hit the like button if it speaks to you, and continue to subscribe and to share. And as always, my unconditional love and appreciation to all of you on this magical journey that we are on together.